Well, going Bridget and Sistren, big up in itself. Bless up, bless up, bless up. It's a marvelous day today, this Wednesday of December 2025. Getting closer and closer to the holidays. Just wanted to come and check in on Una and, giving her a little bit of knowledge and drop some information on Una. So, how many of you know what the difference is between term life insurance and whole life insurance? Well, it's pretty self explanatory. So, term life insurance is good for a period of time, a term, and whole life insurance is good for your whole life, your entire life, which is usually 99 or 100 years old. With term life insurance, the cost is usually tremendously less than the cost of whole life insurance. The reason why that is because with whole life insurance, the premiums are quite high and it has a cash value incentive with it. So a lot of the agents, when they sell you the policy or when they give you the information on the policy, they have you overfunded to, let's say, just put more money in the quote-unquote savings portion of the policy where you're supposed to be able to borrow from and, be your own bank. The term life insurance policy, there is no cash value. There is no be your own bank. There is no investing. There is no combination of investing in the stock market with the term life insurance. Well, particularly the type of policy that Dr. Effene and myself administers to or for my clients. For term policies, they can run anywhere from 15, 20, 30, 35, 40 years. And like I said, the cost and the premium is significantly less than that of a whole life policy. With that being said, with the extra money that you are saving, instead of kicking that out for a whole life policy, you can then use that, as passive income. You can invest that. You can, you can get stocks for as little as $25. And I know a lot of us blow that, on Starbucks and wow, I know I do it anyways. And, it's just, a little bit of a sacrifice that you're willing to take. So, and the other thing with term life insurance is when the term is up, you are able to renew the policy, and you don't have to prove insurability, which means that you don't have to prove that you're healthy. And we know as we get older, our health tends to decline a little bit. So with term life policy, you are able to renew it when the term is up. And like I said, you don't have to prove insurability or that you're healthy and have to, go through the rigmarole of going to the doctor and getting a medical or anything like that. With whole life, you have the option to, I guess, quote unquote, borrow or become your own bank. Now, I don't know about you. I didn't like math in school, so I struggled. I made it through, but there are it's not my strong suit. So me don't want to be by one bank. It's what I mean, right? We spend so much money. We need somebody to be in control, and what you call it, a CPA or something like that, or a financial advisor, because maybe we go buck wild. So, anyways, with the whole life policy, you're supposed to be able to borrow from it. But keep in mind now, the money that you're borrowing is your own money because you overfund the policy or put in whole heap of money night when you open up the policy and when you start the policy. And the agent get enough big commission off of that you know, that's why them love sell that type of policy there. So now, let's say you have your whole life policy and God forbid you pass, your dependents them I'll get let's say $200,000, right? I mean that's a decent amount. You can pay off some of the bills them and put in a little fund for the picnic them or whatever. So all right, you have your $200,000 where your beneficiary them are gonna get the person who you put in charge after your untimely demise. So say, all right, I'm gonna borrow some money. So you opened the policy last year, and now next year you say, all right, Christmas time will come, can borrow some money. All right, when you check with your agent and say, well, unfortunately, Miss So-and-so, we're not gonna be able to borrow any money because no money has accumulated for your borrow. So you say, okay, well, all right, that don't make any sense. And explain it to you, say too soon and blah blah blah, whatever. All right, so year 2 next year. You say, all right, well, Christmas time I come again. I'm gonna try to borrow some money from my insurance policy. I'll put enough money in this. I should have some money right now. So you call up your insurance agent, and the insurance agent say, well, unfortunately, it's still too soon. So year 1, you couldn't get out the money. Year 2, you still can't get out the money. All right, so year 3 come around now, Christmas time. All right, three strikes. Say something off it in there. So you go, and then you say, all right, you want to borrow some money. You call up the agent, and the agent say, all right, yeah, you can borrow a little bit of money. And you say, all right. I have a look at the extra I can spend for the picnic them and the grand picnic them or whoever. I even splurge for myself. So you can borrow this money now, and realize the money you borrow, you have to pay interest on it. Now, tell me how this makes sense, right? You put your money, right, in your insurance policy, right, for you borrow anytime, like you put it in another bank, right? So now, here you got a bank ready to draw out your money. The bank say, all right, you can draw out your money, but them limit how much you can draw out. So you draw out the money. Now, you have to sign an agreement, say you have to pay back the money. Your money, but you put in there, you have to pay it back, right? And on top of that, you have to pay it back with interest. So you're getting hit twice, right? So you say, all right, it's done and gone already. So the money where you borrow. Do you realize that if you don't pay back that money, right, in full, right, God forbid, if you pass, whatever money you owe them, or whatever money is on your balance, them are going to deduct that from the death benefit, the $200,000. So let's say you want you do it big, and you took out $50,000, right, and you not pay it back. So when you're dead, instead of your dependent getting the $200,000, them are gonna get $150,000. You see? So does that seem right to you? You pay for 2 things, right? But your people them only get 1. You pay for your savings portion, and you pay for your death benefit portion, the life insurance portion. 2 things you pay for. But when you're dead, if you owe them money, people them only get 1. Them only get the death benefit minus whatever your debt is or how much you're owing. All right. Another thing, life insurance, when it was initially invented, it really wasn't for make people rich, but it can happen now. Life insurance back in the day was just to cover the, I want to say, the head of household, usually the husband's income, if he passed away or if he died, or it would make sure it said the wife and everybody else. So it was called income protection, right? So enough of women know of job, right? But your job or your employer or them own the policy. Your insurance policy is called a group policy. So if you get fired from the job, or if you get laid off, or if something